Welcome to the sixth week of the Statline podcast. I'm Safal.
And I'm Atlas.
How are you doing, Atlas? Week six, man. We're almost here. I can't believe we're into the second quarter of the NFL season.
It's insane, man. Like this, I know we were waiting all summer for the NFL, and then once it starts, it's like it's a machine. You can't turn it off, and we're already at week six. We're recording this podcast after the Thursday night game this week, and so I'm not as optimistic about the Eagles after this game rather than before the game. But overall doing pretty good. I think there's some relatively good matchups this week, and excited for fantasy as well. What do you think, Safal?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's talk about that game on Thursday, the Eagles-Giants game. As an Eagles fan, how did that not look concerning to you? Jalen Hurts missing a wide open pass. I know great quarterbacks do it as well, but the offense is just not humming, and the receivers like asking for the football while they're 4-0 was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen in professional sports. They're the defending Super Bowl champions, and they're 4-0 to start the second year season, and the receivers are, upset about their role on the team and whatnot. And I get it. These are great receivers. They want to showcase what they're doing, but they are part of something much greater right now, and they wanted the ball and they've lost two games in a row. How concerned are you as an Eagles fan?
I mean, last year they started 2-2, lost to the Buccaneers and the Falcons, and ended up hoisting Lombardi. But difference between last year and this year is that you actually had hope with your offensive play calling. Alan Moore was kind of just coming into the Eagles organization, and then throughout the rest of the season he found his groove, and we were making dynamite plays, making the Sports Center top 10 each week with some of the highlights that the Eagles had. But this year it's just like a whole
I
bunch
mean,
of injuries.
do you think it's that different, or like, does it feel like a seismic difference than last year?
It
Because I
does.
remember
I mean,
last year, like against that New Orleans game, that offense was struggling big time. But then, Saquon broke off on a 70-yard run in the fourth quarter and kind of iced the game. But it was a close game there too, and New Orleans was not a team that Philadelphia should have been that close again.
last year's team, they were building up for a couple years to have that team. Like they got Isaiah Rodgers like the year when he was suspended for the full year. They had to just wait him out in 2023. Had him there, and then had a way better secondary. Had the brand new rookies Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell coming in.
I
Overall, though,
love
like
Cooper DeJean.
the team, you're telling me, man, dude, he's a dog. I love that dude. Home of the exciting Whites, Philadelphia Eagles. But no, like I just think that like the vibe is just a little bit more negative than last season, and there's not as much like positive outlook for the rest
I
of the
don't get
year.
that though. I like even last year, right? I've never seen vibes be this bad for this successful of a team. The Philadelphia Eagles over the last 4 years, outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, are probably the most, I mean, they're the second most successful franchise over the last 4 years, neck and neck with the Chiefs, right? Right below the Chiefs. And over the past 4 years, that first year was probably good vibes, great vibes. After that, for a team this good, the vibes are always shaky. I don't understand. They're 4-2 right now, and Philly fans are acting like, yeah, the team's done and the season's over.
No, obviously I don't think the season's over, and there's
They're
obviously
4-2.
yeah, no, obviously you're still in the front of the NFC East, but it's pretty problematic, losing to a rookie quarterback. But before the game, I wasn't honestly I wasn't surprised with how the outcome of the game came about. Like, nobody's really expecting much from a rookie quarterback and running back, and you're expecting the
So
defending Super Bowl.
do you think Kevin Patullo is the fault of this?
I've said it since the beginning of the season. Like, I think he's a huge issue, and like if we just had someone like state, like I love Nick
What about
Sirianni.
okay? How about amongst the players? Who do you think is the most to blame? Do you think it's
I don't
Hurts or AJ Brown?
I don't think it's Hurts, to be honest, but I don't think it's Brown either.
If
Like
you had okay, I mean, you can't just blame it on coaching either. Like, yeah, the Thursday was a perfect example. Jalen Hurts just missed a. If he makes that throw to Devontae Smith, they win that game,
well
and
this
the
past
offense is
game
humming again.
this past game I would say it's Hurts like 100%, but I'm not saying for the full season the reason why they lost both games was from Hurts, and all their struggles is completely to blame with Hurts. Like, I mean, he's played like their offense that they've created for him to play. Like, he's not going to audible out of plays, every play or two. You can't do that. I mean, when he did that was when they were, down against the Rams and ended up coming back and winning that game. I think that second half showed me enough from Hurts, and then I already know Hurts is our,
No, no,
franchise
but what I'm
quarterback.
saying is this. What I'm saying is the Philadelphia Eagles are a great team. They're 4-2. Okay, there isn't much to blame here anyway because they're 4-2. I get it, like that was a bad game against the Giants this past week, but once again, they're still the second best team in the NFC by record right now, right? Or they have the second best record in the NFC after the Lions and the 49ers, I guess. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think last game the biggest issue is that we didn't have Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter was out. Like our defense was cooked. Like we couldn't do anything. We couldn't stay off the field. I mean, we played defense most of the whole game. When our offense did have any life, then of course Jalen Hurts threw that almost pick six to Cordell Flott, when AJ Brown was wide open. So this game lies mostly on Hurts' shoulders for the loss. But overall, like I said, it's going to be the offensive coordinating and then the
to me,
injuries
I
and
think
lack of defensive players.
I like to my point earlier about vibes being this bad for this good of a team. And I love Nick Sirianni. I think Nick Sirianni has to get a little bit of blame there as well. Like, why is the media and the fans and like everyone associated, the players even, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, like so cryptic when they're the defending Super Bowl champions and going into this game, they were 4-1. Now they're 4-2, still sitting atop the NFC East. I think Nick Sirianni has to have a little bit of blame on the vibes being this bad for a team this successful. But Sirianni obviously deserves the credit for the success as well. So it's kind of a weird scenario here, I guess.
I mean, I think that they just didn't have enough planning for this season. I mean, like when you're losing Kellen Moore, that was like the person that called 100% of your plays last year, pretty much, aside from like Hurts and any audibles that came up. But then now you got Kevin Patullo coming internally. Like that was just stupid. Like to hire that guy. He had no like play calling experience of note. And you could have gotten. I'm hoping that Mike McDaniel gets fired, and then we can pick him up like from the
That would be
Dolphins,
insane.
honestly.
If Philadelphia can get Mike McDaniel, because right, I mean, there are just some guys that are better coordinators than they are head coaches, and getting.
Hmm.
I mean, we know Mike McDaniel can scheme guys open, right? He's been doing it for 3 years as head coach of the Dolphins. His schemes are insane, and with the talent Philadelphia has, that would be something to watch out for.
Yeah, and then another thing I saw on a podcast was Doug Peterson would be open to like an advisory role, but I don't think
I
that
don't know if you
Nick.
want Doug Peterson back.
Well, first off, I don't think Nick Sirianni's ego would be able to take Doug Peterson being back in the
And
building.
rightfully so. Nick Sirianni is a Super Bowl champion. He's been to two Super Bowls. Like, put some respect on that man's name. The team is 4-2 right now. I don't like. I think it's okay for Nick Sirianni to have a big ego because part of the reason why Philadelphia has worked over the last 4 years is that a rigid culture in Philadelphia. And Nick Sirianni is what brought that rigid culture. Now, there's a downside to that rigid culture, right? Vibes are bad even when the team's winning. And that kind of falls on Nick Sirianni. But I think like Nick Sirianni is allowed to have a big ego. The guy deserves it. As a when you hire Nick Sirianni, what more could you have asked for in Philadelphia?
No, I love Nick. I mean, I was just coming up with a couple options that have been placed on the table that could be of help to the Eagles. But overall, I'm not gonna put the blame completely on Hurts. I think this
Yeah.
past game was Hurts, but I'm not really that worried. I mean, it's not that surprising that I mean, there's not that much tape on Jackson Dart, and he had no, Neighbors was out and Slayton was out, and somehow he was able to still, get people open just because of how bad our secondary was. We had Quinyon was out, and you had freaking Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo as the corners. Like that is not acceptable. Both of those guys should not even be on an NFL roster right now. Like they are not NFL caliber corners. I mean, Adoree needs to just go ahead and retire.
Did you see that play by Dory Jackson yesterday? Just absolute no effort whatsoever.
Yeah, no, that was he just. No, are you talking about the Scatabo touchdown run?
Yes, in the
Yeah,
scatterable touch, no effort from a professional defensive back on an NFL team.
Yeah, no. I don't know, man. He's not the answer. Ojolari was just a, panic signing as well. He's a scrub. Like, I mean, we're kind of hurting with the injuries and stuff like that, but I'm not too worried. We'll see how it goes, but you know,
Now,
it was
yeah, I
was
mean, I was gonna say on the other side now with the New York Giants, Joe Schoen got a lot of shit for letting Saquon Barkley go. And a lot of that was because Saquon Barkley stayed in the division and signed with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he had the greatest running back season ever last year, practically. So
well,
he got a lot of
also goes into him wanting to be with the Giants. Like he wanted to sign an extension with the
yes.
Giants.
But what I'm saying is now Joe Schoen comes back, and that roster is pretty good. Like the rookies, Abdul Carter, he was cooking. He's been cooking this year. That defensive line is probably the best defensive line in all of football. Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, right? All the and then now you talk about the offense. Jackson Dart, another rookie this year. Cam Scatabo, another rookie. And then you talk about guys from last year's draft. Malik Neighbors, another hit. That
Theo
team is
Johnson.
loaded with young talent right now. And if Jackson Dart is as good as he's looked the past couple years, Joe Schoen might be cooking something in the like on the New York Giants football team, and a lot of the fact that he can have this great of a team or like around Jackson Dart and have this great of a team is because he didn't have to pay Saquon, right? So and now that came with the cost because Saquon Barkley proved his worth. He proved that he's the most underpaid running back in the NFL last year, even after getting big money from Philadelphia. But the New York Giants maybe made the right decision by letting Saquon go. What do you think?
I think they only got lucky because Scatabo fell to the fourth round and nobody else wanted to take him for some reason, knowing that he was the second best running back in college football last year to Genty. I mean, like he was destined to play good. Jackson Dart's definitely a hit for this year's draft. I mean, a lot of people were wanting them to take Shadur over him, and or even Milrow. I've heard other people saying him over Dart. I mean, Dart he's played really good, and it's
Dart
hard as
looks
an
like he's him right now.
it's hard as an Eagles fan because I love Dart, bro. Like he's so fun to watch, and the same with Scatabo.
Did you see when he went to the blue tent? Like everyone was like, "Yo, what's going on?" Like
And then Russell
that's
comes in and they just boo him like
boo
that.
him.
That was a terrible pass, by the way. Like terrible pass. He
I
was
felt bad for Russell Wilson, man. A legend in the game. We've talked about it on this podcast, and it's just sad to see legends go out like that. I mean, he came in for one play and got his ass booed off the field, man. Ah,
Yeah, no, it's sad to see like how his career is coming to an end. But I mean, you heard from the people in Seattle after he finished his tenure there, like they were saying he was very selfish. He wasn't like, a team leader towards the end of his career there. And so, I mean, you can't have a huge ego like playing into your late 30s. So it is unfortunate, but it's definitely time for Dart's era to begin, and
oh,
he
for
may
sure.
be he's the only thing that can possibly save Dable's job. And you could see, like you said, with the blue tent, like Dable was like, "What's going on? Like, can he please come out for this play? Like, I do not want to put Russell Wilson in the game." He had Scatterbo going to the blue tent, looking and seeing what's up. Like, I have experience here. Like, do you need any help? Like, 'cause that dude's a menace. But
Oh.
yeah, no, I love
Cam
Jackson
Scott, but do
Dart.
you think he's still going to be playing in 5 years?
Yeah, but I think by the recommendation of doctors, he shouldn't be playing in 5 years.
I mean, this guy just goes head on every single play. He has no care for his body, and yes, I get it as a viewer, football fan, as a football coach, it's lovely to see, but from a human standpoint, I mean, come on, dude, like you're not gonna remember your loved ones by 30, like
No, I saw a video like that surfaced after that game of him at Arizona State, like just like banging his head on the
on the
wall
brick.
on the brick before
Yeah.
the game. I'm like, this is like
Oh.
this is vintage CTE. Like prior to any knowledge like of what football was doing to us, like that's
Yeah.
how these people were like junior Seau level CTE already at Cam Scadabo's age, which is insane to think about. But he's a great player. Hopefully, he's playing in 5 years. Hopefully, either MetLife Field or the concussions are probably going to get to him first. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, talking about Dable earlier, though, I think yesterday's game bought him the season. I think amongst all the head coaches, he was one of the ones that was likely to maybe get a mid-season firing if you asked me 2 weeks ago. But now I think after yesterday's performance, after the performance against the Chargers that they had, and I know they lost in New Orleans, but being able to beat a 3-0 team and then another 4-1 team with Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts throwing the full, I mean, come on, Brian Daboll's bought himself the season, and I think if he can finish, if he can get New York to 500 with Jackson Dart as quarterback, I think they give him one more year or however many years he has on his contract left.
No, shoot. If he got the 500 this season, he will get Coach of the Year like
Oh my
candidacy.
God, no, I don't think
Dude,
the
if you
Giants'
start
team
0
is
and 4,
good.
no, it's not. It's really not that great. Like, I mean, you lost your best receiver, and he was like a huge part of that
That's
team.
true. After losing Malik Neighbors, yes.
Yeah, that defense is like stout. Like the front seven's very good, but like the safeties and cornerbacks are like suspect a little bit. I mean, they're okay. But it's definitely not like a elite roster. Like if he can get that team to 500, it says more about Jackson Dart than him, but it also says that he should at least have 2 to 3 more years, in my opinion. Like, that a short leash isn't available after you get 500 after being 0 and 4 with Russell Wilson as your quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, but
Or
let's
0
see
and
if that
3, I
works
should
out.
say.
Because the New York Football Giants trusted Brian Daboll with Daniel Jones 3 years ago. That failed. They gave Brian Daboll one more chance. If they give him another 3 years with Jackson Dart, you don't want Jackson Dart to be rotating head coaches, right? Like you either want to get rid of Brian Daboll after this year and bring in a new guy that you're gonna tie up with Jackson Dart, or you got to ride with Brian Daboll for the next 3 years with Jackson Dart. Because from what it looks like, Jackson Dart is your franchise at this point. He is the future. You got to build around him, and you got to give him the right coaching staff and let him develop as a young quarterback. Now, let's move on to another head coach that's not making it past this year, and that's Bill Belichick. What the hell's going on at UNC, man? What the hell's going on?
Man, like you guys have a Hulu thing coming out. You guys had the Chapel Bill. Like why is all this happening after like what 4 or 5 weeks of the season?
I
I
cannot
thought things were going
believe
great in
that.
Chapel
What's
Hill,
going
man.
on? Say that
What's
again.
happened? I said I thought things were going great in Chapel Hill. Please enlighten me on what's going on with Belichick.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I went to Chapel Hill this past weekend to go to the Clemson UNC game, right? I was pretty excited for that. Um, and I remember we went to He's Not, which is a bar like in Chapel Hill, I guess. We went to He's Not for a little bit, and then the Clemson scored a touchdown, and then we're on our walk to the stadium after that. We were planning to show up a little bit later, maybe like midway through the first quarter, and Clemson once again scored. It was 14-0, and then UNC scored a field goal. And one of my buddies that went to the game was like, "Yo, you better enjoy that because that might be the only points like UNC scores. Like you might not be able to see it, and we haven't even made it to the stadium yet." Like, and then I
Was
just like
that
laugh it
Jackson?
off. Yeah, it was Jackson who said that. I laugh it off, and then I go to the stadium, and I don't get to see a single UNC point. It was 28-3 by like I walked in when it was 14-3. It was 28-3 at the end of the first quarter, and it was 35-3 at halftime. The Bill Belichick has UNC at a point where Dabo Sweeney had to call the mercy rule.
And this is a Clemson team that's not like a
One
historic
and three,
team at all.
Troy took him to distance. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Georgia Tech took them out. Like man, UNC just doesn't even look like they belong in the ACC right now, and that's not saying they should belong in the SEC.
Mac Brown did not have us in this bad of a place, man. This is on Bill Belichick. And I
Yeah.
feel so bad for these kids. Like so petty as well, like not instructing your team to not post Drake May highlights because he's on the Patriots. I mean, not allowing Patriots like what do you call like
Any like Patriots like
scouts.
affiliation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not letting any Patriot scouts come into your college football program where the promise you've made to these kids is I will do my absolute best to get you into the National Football League. That is the number one job of a college football head coach, other than winning titles, obviously, right? When
Yeah.
you
What if
go
No, I
ahead.
was saying, what if Drake May like looks at one of the UNC games, like say they were playing good, and there's a receiver that caught his eye, and he's like, "Yo, Mike, let's go get this guy," and then you can't even get him because Belichick's gonna like it's just not gonna work out. Like I don't see how that pipeline's helping any of his players.
And and like maybe Bill would be able to do this if he was winning, right? All Bill has always been this like petty type of guy against the media, on to Cincinnati, like that type of guy. But while you're winning Super Bowls, mind you, that's okay. No one cares how you coach when you're winning Super Bowls. No one really cares if you're, 75 years old dating a 24-year-old girl if you're winning Super Bowls. Once again, no one would care. But when you're putting that shit of a product, 35-3, but in midway through the second quarter, what are we doing against Clemson, against a 1-3 Clemson team at home? This stadium emptied out at halftime. It was insane.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like he's gonna make it too many more weeks. I saw
I mean,
that he
he's definitely not making it past this year. The question is he like, are they gonna get rid of him mid-season or like what's going on?
Did you see UNC's communication saying like, we're standing with Bill and whatnot? Like that reminds me, like I saw this on Twitter, but that reminds some other people as well, but of the Josh Rosen, Cliff Kingsbury quote, like Josh is our guy, and then
Oh,
proceeds to
yeah,
like
yeah.
draft Kyler
Okay,
Murray.
I think UNC will give Bill Belichick enough grace to let him like last the season. But come on, after the season, it should be wraps. I don't think either side should want to do this. Why does Bill Belichick want to coach if he can't compete on Saturdays? Why does he even want to coach? It doesn't make sense for either party.
Yeah, I don't know. I just looked back at Skip Bayless's tweet after the first touchdown against TCU saying that UNC has like a national championship level offense, and then everything since that point has proved him
That
completely
was the
wrong.
high point of the UNC like football season. That was it. After that, it's been downhill ever since. It's kind of like Aaron Rodgers and the clip of him coming out at MetLife
Mm,
with the American
the
flag on
flag, yeah.
9/11, and then he tears his Achilles like 3 plays later. The meme of like, oh, this is Aaron Rodgers 2023 season highlights. That's it. That's the only highlight we have as a UNC. I mean, yes, we beat what was it, UCF, I think. I don't. I forget the college that we beat. We beat two mid-major schools and lost the two like
You beat Charlotte,
Charlotte. Yeah, we
and
beat
then
Charlotte, not
yeah,
UCF. I guess. I
UCF
think we
beat
lost to
them.
UCF,
Or
but yeah,
it was like some other school in Florida, I think.
I don't know, man. It's sad watching
They
the
beat
what's going
Richmond. That
on.
was the other team. They lost
Richmond, yeah,
34-9 to UCF.
yeah.
That
We
sucks.
lost to UCF
Yeah.
and TCU going into the Clemson name. We had beat Charlotte and Richmond, which come on, if we lose those games, what are we even doing at this point? Like, but yeah, that's the state of the UNC football season. I don't know why Bill Belichick's doing it. I don't know why UNC is doing it. I don't get it, man.
I think he just wasn't in the headspace to have and he kind of came in like a little bit late. Like it wasn't like they had the full off season to plan, right? Wasn't it like halfway through the
Yeah, it
off
was. It was
season?
in like April, I think. So a lot of the recruiting cycle is already done, but they brought in 70 players in the transfer portal. 70 with like, UNC spent they invested big money into the football program. They made Bill Belichick one of the highest paid college football coaches in the country. They got 70 new players from the transfer portal with the NIL. They invested a lot of money into this. And right now it's just, I mean, come on. It's nothing. I hope we're good at basketball this year. That's the only thing I can hold my hat towards, I guess.
Yeah, speaking of basketball, they got a lot of transfers coming in for UNC's team this year. I'm excited to see how the ACC shakes out.
Oh,
Will Wade season in Raleigh, so the Red
yeah.
Reckoning is coming. We'll see
Oh
how it
man.
goes, but yeah,
Let's
but
go. Let's move on to the NFL now, Atlas. I don't want to keep talking about this UNC. It gives me too much pain. So let's move on. Let's go to the NFL. Big game this week is Lions Chiefs. What do you think about this game? Do you think the Chiefs season's on the line here?
what are they, 2-3 right now?
They're 2-3. Yes.
I mean, this is the last week without Rashi Rice, and I love me some Rashi Rice on the football field, that is. But anyways, I think they still got a little bit of time, even if they lost this week. I wouldn't right the ship. I think they're going to make the playoffs. What are we talking about? Like Mahomes, we haven't even thought of a reality of him without being in the playoffs. Like we can't even comprehend it as NFL fans.
I mean, as NFL fans, we can't even comprehend Mahomes not being in the conference championship game.
Yeah, that's insane. His resume is second to one guy, Tom
For
Brady.
sure.
No, I don't think it's over if they lose to the Lions. Like the Lions are a top five team in the league, and if they lose to them,
I mean,
without.
I think they are gonna lose to them, to be
I mean,
honest.
yeah, me too. Me too. I would bet on the Lions this
But yeah,
week.
Chiefs are getting back Rushy Rice. That should help the offense. And the offense has, they've been humming recently against Jacksonville. If not for that pick six at the goal line, the Kansas City offense was moving the football down the field every single time.
hmm They got Worthy back. He's been playing good. And you got the rookie Brashard Smith at running back, who's getting a lot of value later in the season. I hope at least. And what was that?
Now, I was gonna say the problem with the Chiefs though is their schedule is brutal. It's brutal coming up. They have Raiders next week, so maybe that's an easy win. But the next six games I'm about to name, none of these are easy wins. They have Commanders, that's not an easy win. Buffalo, Denver, Indy, Dallas, Houston, and the Chargers. Maybe Houston they can beat there. Maybe if Daniel Jones turns back into the Giants Daniel Jones that we've seen over the last 6 years, maybe that game. But none of these games are gimmies, man. And time is running out fast.
Yeah, I mean, I could see them like being a wild card team this year, and that's crazy to even think
Going
about
on the
that.
road all 3 rounds. I still can't bet against Mahomes in the playoffs, though,
Yeah,
man.
no, me neither. But yeah, I'm not gonna say anything negative about the Chiefs because we're gonna see them in the playoffs,
Six
like
straight conference
regardless.
championships, 3 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl trips. The Kansas City Chiefs are our modern day dynasty. I mean, it's fine. They're having a slump. It happens.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see at the
If
end of the year who's
if they
talking.
have a down year, I think it's okay. I think they can retool, get a higher draft pick. They still have 10 years of great QB play left, right? There's nothing to worry in Kansas City.
I mean, just having Rice and Worthy as like your receiving core is like pretty solid for the future. Even if,
For sure.
Kelsey's probably on his last leg. I mean, he is on his last leg. He may be on his last year. And then Pacheco probably won't be their starting running back going
What do you think
forward.
Kareem Hunt's gonna be?
I mean, Brashard Smith honestly looked pretty good the past couple of weeks. He was a seventh rounder from this past draft, and I mean, I think they'll
Chiefs and their seventh round running backs, man. Pacheco, Carson Steele. Like, you remember Carson Steele?
yeah, he had the hype for like one game, and then he fumbled and never was seen
He was
again.
he was like the waiver wire target of the week. That one week, everyone putting waiver claims on him.
Yeah, no. Meanwhile, I was stuck with Kareem Hunt coming back. I knew he was going to be the RB1 last year, so I was lucky to get him. But still, some mid performances last year. But yeah, no. I think next year they'll probably draft a running back like higher up. I don't know exactly who's coming out, but they'll probably go for a running back and try to start a new offense. Maybe draft a new tight end as well. It'll look different next year. As long as Andy Reid's there, though, we already talked about Andy Reid, Mahomes, like the QB coach dynamic, and there's no way that I would bet against them to make the playoffs. And like you said, if they do have a down year and miss it, then it's like, yeah, next year.
Yeah, I mean,
That would be the only chance for that's what sucks about it for Ravens fans. Like this may be the only year that you have like a chance
Mahomes on a
at
down year. Yeah.
making a Super Bowl if they get a if the Chiefs get a wild card spot, but then you got the Ravens who are just fighting to even have a positive record.
I mean, I think that's the cool part about the NFL season this year is we don't have any teams where we look at as like, oh, that team's gonna make it this year. Like for a
Yeah.
fact, like the best team you can make an argument right now is a team led by Daniel Jones. You know, like come on, like India is 4-1, right? The Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence is 4-1. Steelers with Aaron Rodgers are 3-1 and have 2 games against the Browns and Bengals coming up. They might be 5-1 in 2 weeks. I mean, I just don't know. Like the Packers, maybe the Vikings. Like if they had kept Sam Darnold, maybe it would have been good. But now they're not. Like maybe the Buccaneers. I don't even know. 49ers with Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones is questionable for this week, so are they even going to have Mac Jones? This is the
Who's the
question.
49ers backup? Third string.
Hey, Trey Lance, come back home.
Oh my God. Let me see who their backup is. Adrian Martinez.
Who
I don't
is
know who that is.
that? That sounds like
Kansas State
a
quarterback.
automated player or something, some kind of
On
AI.
Madden, the future draft classes on Madden
Yeah,
career mode.
yeah, that's just some random pick.
Uh,
He probably came over from like the CFL or something. But
oh man.
yeah, other
Who's your
yeah.
who's your fantasy start of the week this week, Atlas? Let's talk about that.
You go first. I'm gonna be brainstorming over here.
Rico Dowdle.
Rico
31
Dowd. Oh
points last week. Chuba Hubbard's out. Rico Dowdle is the man right now in fantasy football. If you have him in your bench, everyone should be starting Rico Dowdle this week. Everyone. He looked amazing last week. And that Dallas Cowboys defense is suspect. They don't have a good defense. We know that. Uh, I think Carolina likes to keep pounding the ball. Yeah, in Charlotte's home game against the Cowboys, I like Rico Dowdle this week, man. I think he's about to pop off.
yeah. I got torched by Dowd last week. Had a 30 bomb.
Did
He
you
was,
did you lost Last week, right?
yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, against Dowdle and
If I
Waller.
if I would have started Diggs, I would have been like within like 5 or 6 points of winning, but it doesn't matter. I would have still lost. But yeah, my start of the week is not going to be a hot take at all due to all the injuries and stuff. But Emeka Ibuka, Chris Godwin's not playing this week again, or for the first time in a couple weeks, and then Mike Evans is still out. You're going against up against the 49ers defense. They're dealing with a few injuries as well and have a bunch of injuries on the offensive sides. Buka, like if he doesn't have 25 plus, I'd be surprised unless it's a blowout. But shout out to my boy Rashad White as well because he'll be holding down the RB2 spot for me in fantasy this week, and hopefully for fantasy's sake, Bucky's out for just a little bit longer, and then we can squeeze out some more value out of Rashad White. They're both gonna pop off.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is our sixth episode of the Statline podcast. Pleasure once again doing this, Atlas. We'll see everyone next week.
Yes, sir. Drop some suggestions in the comments below if you want us to cover anything else, and we are going to be covering the basketball this year.
For
So if you guys
sure.
are basketball fans, make sure to tune in, tell your friends, and we'll catch you guys next week.